What is integrity in cannabis? And who has it? Yo, what up, everybody? And yeah, let's talk about integrity, man. And who has it? So, South Park made a. Let me see if I can click this without getting. Oh, there we go. Perfect. South Park made a parody video a while ago about the MedMen situation, or the MedMen commercial that I guess you want to say normalizes cannabis, right? Like it just goes into the history of racism and whatnot. But what is integrity? Who has it? So, why should you do this to me? Why should you give a fuck what I gotta say about anything? Um, so, as Tom says, uh, I've been blogging since uh, MySpace peak days um, and the Facebook beginnings. Like that's how long I've been trolling and writing and promoting online and being a digital troll. Um, and as Tom says, I've been an activist since day one. I did help create gather signatures for Prop 215, which I'm very proud of. Um, and yeah, man, I mean, I've been just online ever since, just trying to send a positive message, rally the troops, organize everybody so we're all on the same page. Because that's how we win. That's how we get legalization. You know, it's not just one person. It's not one group. It's not one policy. It's a series of effects, domino effect, and we're getting there, man. It's a lot better, but it's not better for everybody, and that's where it's at, right? Like as an activist, a cannabis activist, I think it's easy for me because I will be on your side no matter who you are. Let me say that again. I'll be on your side in a cannabis case, no matter who you are, even the people I'm about to talk shit about. All right. So let's get into this. Uh, it's a weird world out there, and you can't trust the authority that you're trying to reference. You have to question where you're getting your information from or who's giving it to you. And now I'm about to get into my online presence. So let's see. And if you have any questions about how to get to say cannabis activism, writing, blogging. I'm going to follow this video up and look in the comments and try and see if I can respond to as many people with any legitimate questions. So let's get into this. What have I done and what is cannabis integrity type shit? So here I have a list. This I like to call this my writing resume. Um, I initially started writing. Well, first in my writing, I was uh, on MySpace and writing groups. Um, Not always cannabis related. Um, Lots of poetry and stories and stuff, but I just am compelled to write um, logical arguments of why this great injustice happens. So when I first got online and was being published by website or being standing out, it was with Weblog. And the Weblog, as I like to say now, is the Brick Weblog. And for those of you that know my story, um, these the people that are in charge of this website are just shit right now. And I will tell you the one reason why I will talk shit about this motherfucker forever. Um, because this website wasn't started by me. I'm friends with the two guys that started it. And this is going to go on to the next website that I was part of with these guys, which is quite interesting to tell you. But I was a contributor to this website when it first started. When I first started looking for a venue, a cannabis venue to an outlet to get out, I mean, I'm writing stories once a week, maybe twice a day, or even once a day. I'm finding random stories online. Uh, my point has always been the 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 stories I find, the news stories, the things that are relevant and all communities across America when it comes to cannabis. It has nothing to do with like youth smokes joint and goes on killing spree, or uh, youth smokes and rapes, whatever. It's always been arrest and bust. Thus, my point being, uh, cannabis is not the menace to society that we've been taught uh, all our lives, right? From the beginning, dare, even present day, redundant speak by political parties, both sides. So, anyways, back to so the website started. Um, as I kept getting these guys more and more content, my only compulsion was to want to make a name for myself. As my writing name was Miggy420. This was my gamer tag. Um, I wish I had something more inventive, like Method Man. That'd be a dope ass name to go off forever. But Miggy was a nickname that some uh, older women used to call me when I was a busboy at a restaurant, and of course 420. But this was my gamer tag. This was my online nom de plume when it comes to like games and everything weed related I was doing. Um, and then the guys that when they started the website, like, hey, we're gonna give you your own email. So I had an email, Miggy420 at Weedblock. Now, I'm not anybody important or special, so I'm not getting emails. There's no reason to reach out to me. But now I had a new email that I could use for trolling, for activism, for reaching out to prisoners, and that's where we're at now. That's where it's pissed me off. So I've had this email for fuck, man, 8 years. The blog started in 2010. All the shit went downhill. 2017. So I had it like 7 years. Had this email. No one fucked me. No one knew I existed, except for cops when I piss them off and troll them, or other people like Kevin Sabat, or just prohibitionists. Let's face it. I think, like what John Lewis says, good kind of trouble. I think I piss off the right kind of people. So, um, so yeah, I had this website, or had this email. Um, was using it for writing or for contacting prisoners, using core links. So if you ever read a prisoner, they have an email system called core links, but it's a pain in the ass because they have to recognize that they know you, vice versa. It takes a little doing to get, but it gets done. Um, so one day, uh, my two friends who started the website, and they're, I don't know what this guy, investor, I don't know what to call him properly, dickhead, but actually they're a married couple too. It's not just a one dickhead. There's two dickheads. Uh, so as a married couple, these dickheads took over the website and gaslighted the shit out of my friends. And I'm going to show you some examples here in a second, because so they fought over the website, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't care. It's not my thing. I have never made money at this shit. My plan was to get a name, make a reputation. I was hoping with the website, as it got bigger, money comes in play. I was hoping to have funds to travel across and uh, tell people stories. All I wanted to do was tell prohibition type stories to help move the emotional barometer. Everybody from California, Oklahoma, Idaho, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, wherever. I wanted to travel and tell stories, whatever. Um, so I did build a reputation. I did. Um, I don't know about following, but so from this little highlight section, let me see if I can try and go over some stuff with you guys. So in this little highlight section, right here, the weed blog, and I start all the way down. It's about 2.5, almost 3 pages worth of articles just by hyperlinks. Now, the stuff highlighted yellow um, is stuff that are dead links, but they're still kind of good because I'm going to get into this. This is so weird. So Uh, yeah, so I contributed a bunch of shit, helped spread the word of the website, promote it. My friend Decoder was extremely very good. Johnny Green's a very prolific blogger himself and networker. So this was a perfect recipe for just activism and getting the message out there. Most of my writing is just like kind of lifestyle blogging, like, hey, because at the time I was traveling for work. So I traveled to Wyoming, Montana, and talk about people and how other people are smoking. And that was on my dime, my company's dime. Just make use of time. This is how you do things. You make use of your time, your assets, whatever's in your world. Like at one time, the only thing I could do was donate cardboard to Normal so they can make signs. That was, but it's an effort. You have to go within your means. So, anyways, they get to a pitch contest about this website. My friends and the married couple, and my friends are just tired. They give up. They're like, "Okay, you gaslight the shit out of us. You you take the website." And so they pass the reins. Not out of any uh, virtuous or I have no good words for it. They passed the reins just because they're tired. There was nothing good about why they gave up. The the present owners of the website, they won it by just beating these guys down. And when they took over the website, apparently they didn't realize that I was still part of it. So, because I had access to all the WordPress shit and I would post articles, but they weren't publishing them because this guy kept gaslighting them all the time. So they didn't even have time to look at my articles and say, hey, we're going to push these through. So I just stopped publishing articles through them and but used the email. Then one day when I went to go write a prisoner, um, I didn't have access to the email. And that's when I got involved with not liking these people, the married couple. I mean, honestly, if they would have reached out to me and just said, hey, we're closing everything up or we're going for more professional, anything, reach out to me, let me know. Nothing. So all I got was hate and vinegar from this asshole about how uh, I didn't deserve to be on this website or I didn't deserve the email I had, even though I was part of this website even before he got involved. I was early on. Um, and again, oh, here's the thing. So everybody, the shit talking I'll be doing, I got the receipts. So I'm not gonna. Well, I'm flashing these ones, but there's other receipts to flash too. So I'll get through this. So let me show you something real quick. So the jackass, I tell him, I was like, hey man, you know what? You killed my email. The one thing I was using for activism, and he's probably using like I'm sure people are still sending the WeBlog emails as far as like information, and they're probably just using our emails and going through for data purposes. I mean, honestly, if you have a point to be reached out to, people will reach out to you. So this motherfucker, I asked him, hey, take my shit down. I really don't appreciate that uh, you guys still have my words up there, my children. All these articles are some form of me and time and space. But let me show you what this fucker did. So here's the byline in this motherfucker. This doesn't say Miggy 420. Now, if I were to go into the search, type in Miggy 420. Oh, look at that. All these articles mention me, I'm a part of, and here's my author page. So they've kept 3 articles in my name attached. Fundamentally, I can tell you the reason why everything's kind of scrambled when you create a website, each page is like a book. It's like everything you do to the website is annotated and part of the wholeness of it. So my Miggy 420 articles are in this bitch forever, unless she wants to hurt the website. Um, but even though he told me he took them down, they're not. They've been reallocated. All the ones in yellow are almost dead links, but they're not full dead links. Some of these will show a thumbnail if I can highlight it right. Yeah. Anyways, so even though this is a dead link, I'm gonna go 404. Turns out, as I was getting ready for this article and preparing and trying to figure things out, turns out this motherfucker did not take any of my articles off or did anything. What they did was they restructured the URL. So now it's just an interview section right here. Let me see. Now I'm getting super nerdy for you people, but if you want to go online and do things, this is, I can't make the URL bigger, but it just says weblog.com/interviews. And then it groups in all the interviews from the past. And then he did the same thing, or they did the same thing for ending marijuana prohibition, cannabis tips and tricks, and opinions. So these fuckers not only gaslighted people to get their website, but they're just using people for content. And honestly, to be an up and coming in cannabis, you have to do it for free. You have to go out and make a name for yourself, make a presence, but you'll make one, and then you can start charging. I'm still more worried about my 9 to 5 than I am about uh, making money off cannabis nowadays. I mean, especially as I've gone through many evolutions. So here in the first section, so after the weed blog, I made friends with Steve Elliott, who's an awesome guy. And at the time, he had toke blah 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 toke signals. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 articles in toke signals, and I think 6 of them are devoted to Lance Glore. 3 of them are just talking about activism and what it's like. Toke signals is no longer around. Apparently, you got to pay for websites to keep them up. No big deal. But I'm just trying to get to show you like how hard I've tried, how often I've tried to create that rebranding. I guess I don't know what to say, or uh, establish who I am. I guess right. But now that website's gone. So I really appreciate this uh, media. Working with Tom is not going to be uh, a smokescreen, for lack of a better word. It's very transparent. So we're doing things for you, for everybody. So let me just get back to more of my history. So tow signal is no longer around, but I'm pretty sure you can find some stuff in the Wayback Machine. My next adventure has been this one. They're no longer. I haven't heard from this guy in a while, but Sativa Online Magazine. I honestly I thought it was just too long of a URL, but uh, I have some articles in there. Reschedule it is one. One of my favorite ones is to how to start a cannabis revolution. So you can find many more articles that I've written, uh, either in Issue Magazine or just going through a Google search. I've established the Miggy 420 goddamn name. Other articles here in the Northwest Leaf. So as you see, I captured everything I've done at least on a digital online presence. Uh, just it's like a resume, just to reference people like, look, I've done something. So now, fast forward and also rewind to before all this stuff, before cannabis legalization news, I did a thing with so the same guys with the brickweed, weednews.co. Now, weednews.co is no longer with my friends, with me and us. And I'll gently get into this. So it's still up. The website's up, but this is gonna blow your fucking mind. Uh, we aborted ship. Like we had a good. a year and a half run, and you know, as bloggers, as activists, as non-journalist type people, and the internet blogging, you know, we had to take it down. There were some threats to some things being used that weren't ours. So we aborted ship and figured we'll just start new. And then one day it popped up again. So we jumped ship, but somebody jumps out, somebody else jumps on. And when I looked it up, this URL is now owned somewhere in UK. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. But I hit him up because I'm like, I just got, this is before I got involved with CLN. I was like, hey, you were as involved. And I was like, hey, you have my articles in there. Can I at least contribute and be a part of this presence of a website? Nothing. This is so funny, man. So if you go into their about section, man, this is some crazy ass shit where they talk about Weed News is the best place to get daily marijuana updates. We're dedicated to bringing our readers the latest cannabis trends. And I mean, this all sounds amazing. This is honestly, it's a very well written website. Like some of these articles, I don't know if there's somebody behind it or if there's an AI. And I'll show you why I say this. But this is great. Check this out. Weed News started out as a passion project for two weed lovers a few years ago. The two stoners co-founders had a mission to help navigate the confusing laws and legislations, distributions, blah, blah. Now in 2020, Weed News consists of experienced writers, editors. So it's all bullshit. And I'll work my way in how I know this. So, but it's very well written, man. For the moment we started Weed News, our number one goal has been to create a community. We want to connect marijuana lovers around the world to provide. Uh, so yeah, I mean, just a very well written in about us section. Okay, now here's where we get to the where they fucked up. For this people who took over this website or the URL. So when they first took over the URL, everything still had Johnny Green's nom de plume and mine, and there's some other people in here, Anthony Johnson, Radical Rest Bellevue, a couple others as well. Not everything's been in here, but most of it's in here. And anything about us here, meet the Weed News team. So check this out. This is some crazy shit. So meet the team. Our founders are Johnny Green and David Harrison. So, okay. Johnny Green's the guy that was on the original website and my friend. But it's now Johnny Baldwin. And Johnny Baldwin's got an amazing story. Johnny grew up in a household where cannabis was a very normal part of life. His father was a master grower at a state-regulated facility at an hour outside Denver, Colorado, and his mother was a bud trimmer at the same time. Whoa, dude, you're like an offspring of fucking growers, dude. He's an aspiring journalist. Johnny decided to pursue an education in political science. He was always a high achiever in school and was excellent grades. So his verbiage is crap. And then there's no Dave Harrison, as far as I'm concerned. But check this out too. So you go into their bio when you click on a story, you can click on the author's name and see what they've written. But up here in the top, the URL again, it shows author Johnny Green. So these English fuckers took over a website that, and so the reason why I'm saying about if it's an AI that writes this or whatnot, I don't know because majority of the articles here, look at this: CBD oil for dogs, best organic products, best CBD for dog treats, uh, CBD review and buying. It's a lot of best of, right? Like this whole website, best Tennessee, best CBD, best. I mean, what algorithm? And then the words are pretty cool. Like not cool, excuse me, but are eloquent. There's only one reason anyone would really care how long pot remains in your body, unless you're a researcher or to write an article like this one. I mean, it seems like somebody wrote it. Like it seems like there's a person sitting behind this and putting words together with cohesive thought, but I just don't fucking know. And so here, look at this. When they redid this, They included one article, and this page is very broken because I have one article here, but then if you go to Google Read News CO, you can pop a bunch of other articles that I've written that are somewhere in there, but I can't pop them up. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird, man. Look at this. Great topic. How many grams are an ounce, eighth, or quarter weed? And they even break it down to the fucking. Dude, I wrote this article fucking a while ago, but they have great graphs. I mean, I can't get mad at the breakdown and the quality of these articles. Uh, so yeah, that's just oops, wrong one. It's just weird. It's weird that you don't know who to trust or what sources or what things are out there. Look, there's a couple other things I need to talk about, and just this video might be broken up in two. I don't know, or it's going to be a long one for everybody to watch. Hang out. Uh, so I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about other scammers and bad influences in cannabis legalization. Um, Cannabis activism is not all one big hippie drum circle, and the website scenario that I just showed you is a perfect example of it. If people can make money at something, they will try and fuck you and try and get into it. Let's not forget, cannabis, marijuana is a $1 billion industry. Billion. If you're a fucking influencer in this, that gives you a pretty good foot into the $1 billion industry. This was foreseeable, man, that this was going to be a huge industry. So I really despise the term influencer, but I think as far as what I've been doing from the internet and writing and even with the social medias, like the pre-influencer, but um, I didn't want to be. I just want to be an activist, try to help change other American minds, and let's go forward, and not put other Americans in jail, and then the world. Um, I just wanted to write. That's all I want to do. But let me talk to you about some people in the cannabis past, and there's a man who has passed on, Mickey Martin, who is the master of memes, and he was my inspiration for all the memes I've been doing. He helped me. He helped influence me in that sense that you can get a big message across with just a picture or a simple statement. Um, and he was in the industry. He was busted. He was selling. I think he sells edible. He sold edibles when he passed on. He died of natural causes. Um, and he would call out scammers left and right. Call out people who weren't actually talking about the uh, hundred all the benefits of the plant. You can't single out one thing. You can't say vaping is the preferred way for patients. There is no preferred way for anybody. There is no preferred strain. There's no preferred nothing. You have to learn it for yourself. Get a diary. Um, but we're at the point now where you should be able to Google. If you're about to get in business or do something with somebody or make a donation, Google them. Google, uh, and then also reach out in other networks. There's enough platforms and groups out there now that you can inquire and find out on somebody. Um, there's some people in question. Here's about we'll drop some names here. Jeff Waters. I mean, I've seen people have very bad experience with this guy, and he has like 8 profiles. That raises red flags right there. Another gentleman who I actually worked with because he's from Ohio. Where's it? Ohio? No, Idaho. This gentleman's from Idaho. And he scammed a bunch of people there as saying, and he might be a veteran, but he was pushing this I'm a veteran gunnery sergeant type scenario and took donations in from people, even let people take them into his house, into their houses, excuse me, and he would steal shit. So you got to be careful who you let into your world, man. Uh, I looked on Facebook just the other day. So when I worked with this guy, he actually asked me to help get a veteran out here in Seattle who was coming to the hospital out here for an operation, and this is during medical days, and I did. I hooked the guy up with as much cannabis as I could acquire and gave it to him for the same price I bought it at. Um, but he did a lot of wrong to people down south or down Idaho, and you gotta watch out for these scammers, these people who are going to claim military but not have any real backing. Does that make sense to you? Um, at least ask for some credentials or something. Another person that in my course of activism out here in Washington was this Tony Lynn Cowan, who would do the cancer patient thing, raise donations and all this stuff. And then eventually, she turned in two people, a married couple. Now they're married. They weren't married at the time, but there was this couple that was dating, and they got turned. They were extraction specialist, and she called the feds on them, and they were facing federal time. Uh, so you have to watch out on who you're supporting or who you're sharing and promoting, man. You know, in prison support groups and activist orgs, I hear a lot of times somebody on the other side will be like, "Well, that was my idea. They stole that from me, or this was." So that sucks. My thing is though for the prisoner stuff. If you're doing anything for prisoners or people in trouble for marijuana, then I might have to let you slide as far as like it might be a stolen idea, but you're helping people and you're helping get their stories out. So that's a huge deal to me. But that happens. So just watch who you donate to and kind of look them up ahead of time. Um, what else? Oh, so what brought this all about, Miguel? Why did you want to talk about your stupid influencer past or whatever? A friend of mine, uh, so there's a gentleman out there, Dan Bilzerian. Ah, this guy's a joke. He's the Trump of cannabis. Someone who's never worked in their life for anything. So a friend of mine is a poker guy, and that's how he knew about Dan Bilzerian. And then he brought it to he mentioned Dan to me, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not an Instagram person, nor do I care if someone's keep flossing a bunch of jets and blah 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 because it doesn't mean nothing to me. I'm not there yet, or probably be ever. I mean, I don't know. My dad didn't get arrested for millions and then leave it with me hiding. So anyways, so my friend uh, brings up the Dan topic, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then later on, this guy right here, Jarvis Johnson. Oh my God! So just so I don't have any violations, I'm not gonna push play on this bitch. But he breaks down some great uh, takedown of Dan Bilzerian. Uh, like right here, this motherfucker, he posts his pictures like this all the time. You writing a book? That's it, right? That's how you write a book. Nah, dude, that's not how writing happens. So check out the Jarvis Johnson piece if you want a good chuckle. But we're gonna go over what my friend the Rehabbing Fish did because one, I won't get dinged for copyrights, and two, gives you a little insight of what this dude's about. I mean, so a friend of the pod, Let's Talk Cannabis, he goes over Jarvis's video, um, and I won't push play again either because I don't want copyrights. But uh, he has a good takedown too about the whole Ignite business and whatnot. Uh, I just think this guy's a bad dude. I mean, people who have never earned anything in their life, I just can't respect. If you didn't manually do something, so let's just go over this video and check it out.
Boy, Dan Bilzerian.
Oops, that was fucking loud. Let's try it again.
Playboy Dan Bilzerian emerged as the king of Instagram around 2013 with the story of being a poker and lady crusher. During
King of Instagram. So again, the influencer thing is booty, but some are good, right? Like I have a friend who's an influencer, female with an OnlyFans, but she's a smart lady and a businesswoman, and someone with a great work ethic that I worked with before at events. So let's continue on.
In the early 2020 quarantine, Dan gave up sex and weed to focus on writing the story of his life. Save yourself the $19.99 and time wasted on reading the book and check out this too long didn't read video version of the story of Dan Bilzerian.
Too long didn't read.
Dan is the son of Paul Bilzerian, convicted securities fraud scam artist who stole a large sum of money. Much of that was never recovered by the government or his victims. Bilzerian eventually came to be known as the king of Instagram, and stories that he won over 50 million in high stakes poker games in 1 year started to circulate. The poker world doubts the story. No witnesses or video exist.
Yeah, so the big $54 million hand. You don't have games. So this guy is talking like, oh, I won it in one of those undercover games or those download games. Well, a lot of regular pokers are in those undercover games, and this guy didn't win no $50 million hand.
Dan's fame started to grow as well as his harem of models. Mainstream media started to cover his story, and his legendary status exploded. He named himself the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and used this term for branding.
Yeah, that's kind of funny though. You don't give yourself your own name. And this guy you really should watch the Jarvis video because I didn't realize. So the brand, the Ignite, is his company that's going under. They use a goat's head for their thing, and I didn't realize why. Now I put two and two together. It's kind of funny. He puts the goddamn goat on everything, and the Jarvis guy makes fun of him because he's like, "Oh, you bought a 50 cal with a goat's head," like branding. Like he just slaps the goat's head on. It's branding. So now I can write it off. Crazy ass shit.
Things were going well. Dan's fame was exploding. He even was in a major movie which he paid his way into. But things started to turn bad when Dan threw a porn star off a rooftop into a pool, breaking her foot. Footage also appeared of him kicking a woman in a nightclub in a dispute. Cracks were appearing in Dan's doings, but he still had a legion of millions of hardcore fans. After years of zero footage of Dan playing poker, he went on hedge fund manager and multimillionaire friend Bill Perkins' account and showed the world he was a subpar player who looked clueless on video. In 2016, Bilzerian launched a premium cannabis brand called Ignite to went public on the Canadian market. Dan held a launch party where he ended up kicking a dope magazine reporter out, claiming he was drunk, exposing a pattern of blaming people for being intoxicated to cover his failures. After learning the cannabis industry and consumers could care less about his cannabis products, he started to pivot into CBD and other cannabis related products. Dan, as the CEO of the company, delayed on releasing the 2019 finances, which are due by law as a public company. Information eventually showed a loss of $50 million with massive spending on Dan's lifestyle, including rental of his $200,000 a month LA home and other high end purchases that had nothing to do with his business. Furthermore, a lawsuit by a former company VP was slapped on Dan, which showed Bilzerian claimed he was on drugs during the job after he informed the CEO he must stop his spending. Dan now needs to fight and be successful before the company goes under, where he will lose it all and now have to get a real job and become a nighttime Uber driver.
And there you have it, dudes. There you have it. What is cannabis integrity? Is again, these influencers, this culture, the influence culture. Like I said, I guess I'm technically was started beginning or am an influencer. I fucking don't know, but if we get distracted by all the shiny shit and all this bullshit flossing, you're gonna get sidetracked. Um, it's like the actually no, it's I got nothing after that. I just kind of lay it out there, let you digest it, let you figure it out. let you make your own decisions. That's all this is about. It's me telling people like, look, here's the fucked up shit. You know, we don't need more celebrities in weed. You know, I mean, I really would like to smoke a Wiz Khalifa joint, but I would rather smoke an Ed Rosenthal joint or a Danny Danko. I mean, these are names that we really should wonder what's in the garden. You know, let's look at the gardeners. The farmers are the stars of cannabis, not Instagram. That's what I got. You guys like, subscribe. If you made it this far, thank you. Later.